Welcome to another AutoTrader review, this time featuring a brand new Maserati Ghibli. Now, while the Ghibli is not a new model in South Africa, it's been available since 2013, the 2021 model introduces a mild facelift, a new drivetrain and improved technology. And this particular model also replaces the old entry-level diesel. How did they do it? With a new hybrid system. But is a Maserati really a Maserati if it has a 4-cylinder engine? Let's find out. The most obvious clue that this is the 2021 facelift Ghibli can be found on the rear end, which has a new boot lid, new bumper and new 3-dimensional design taillights. And if you remember your old classic Maseratis, you might even remember this boomerang shape to the taillight. They brought this back as an homage to the older models. At the front end, the Ghibli GranSport, like this one, has a gloss black grille insert, which has also been restyled slightly. And the hybrid versions receive blue detailing on the brake calipers, in the little Maserati badge here on the C-pillar, and on the air vents behind the front wheels. The Ghibli might be Maserati's smallest sedan, but it's still a pretty big car at almost 5 meters in length. That gives it plenty of room for front seat occupants, while the rear seats have adequate room for above average sized adults. Now, this being a Maserati, you'd expect it to be lined in leather from top to bottom, and that's mostly the case. The beautiful soft leather on the dash, and Alcantara woodline trimming, and fantastic soft and supple Piano Fiore leather for the seats, with blue stitching as applies only to the hybrid. That blue stitching even extends into the door cards. This is, however, the sportier version called the GranSport. So it doesn't have any wood trim. Instead, it has beautiful real carbon fiber inlays instead. There are, however, some niggles. Hard plastic. So it's not quite as plush as you'd expect it to be, but you know, as long as you never touch anything below about here, you won't notice it. Apart from the hybrid drivetrain and the mild exterior facelift, the biggest change occurs in the infotainment system. This is a new frameless display screen, again color touchscreen, but it grows from 8.4 inches in the old FCA based Uconnect system to 10.1 inches in this new Android based system. This new screen not only gives the 2021 Ghibli a fresh user interface, but it also eliminates one of the most glaring Chrysler sourced items in the old model. It also allows for wireless smartphone mirroring. In other words, you don't even need to use a USB cable to have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto anymore. Another nifty little feature is this wireless charging tray hidden behind a discreet flap. Extend the little tray, drop your phone into the slot, close the tray, and your phone's charging. Nice, very neat, and it keeps your cell phone safe and secure while you're driving. There are some other nifty features to this new infotainment system as well, such as the ability to connect 2 smartphones at once. And the car comes with a built-in Wi-Fi hotspots and supports all manner of telemetry, and even features Amazon Alexa. Basic Maserati Ghibli safety features include 7 airbags, a 5-star Euro NCAP crash test rating, ABS, multi-mode stability control, ISOFIX, rear child seat anchors, the whole 9 yards. Pretty much everything is there, but in typical executive car fashion, some of the really tasty options are optional. While you do get blind spot monitoring and a rear view camera as standard, this particular car's surround view camera system and adaptive cruise control and lane keeping assistance all form part of an optional driver assistance package. And really at this price point, that should all be included. Now, a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo doesn't sound very promising. I mean, it sounds pretty ordinary, but Maserati applied some tricks to this specific arrangement. For starters, they added a 48-volt mild hybrid system, which adds extra power directly to the crankshaft by means of a belt, and it powers an e-booster, basically an electric turbo that speeds up in a split second while the main turbo is still busy building boost. So this sharpens the throttle response, it sharpens the boost response, and it makes this smallish engine in a large car act like something much, much more potent than it actually is. The combined system outputs for this drivetrain amounts to 242 kilowatts and 450 newton meters. And that explains why this engine now replaces the old V6 turbo diesel. It has similar torque, okay, not nearly as much, but it has it over a wider rev range. It has more power, it emits less carbon, and it's all around cleaner than the old diesel. It performs quite well as well, with a 0 to 100 sprint in a claimed 5.7 seconds and a top speed of 255 kilometers an hour. That's not bad for a little 2-litre. Maserati claims an average fuel consumption figure of 9.6 litres per 100, but I didn't quite get close to that while I was driving the car. I returned 11.5 litres per 100 instead, but it must be noted that I drove it with a fair amount of enthusiasm. So conservative drivers should be able to achieve better than I did. That's actually not bad for a huge car with this kind of power. The Maserati Ghibli Hybrid starts around 1.64 million rand before options, and that's a lot of money. And then it runs all the way past 2.2 million for the GranSport or the GranLucer, the luxury version. Whether the fancy trimmings and the nice leather are really worth that much extra, that's up to the buyer to decide, but knowing the kind of appeal that a Maserati has to the well-moneyed set, that inflated price tag may just add to its exclusivity and appeal. Thank you for watching. Keep your eyes out for the written review on this car, which will also incorporate some really nice images. And remember to click like and subscribe to keep up to date with all our quick reviews.